What's up, everyone? Check out the Comic Outlaw on YouTube. If you like what you see, do a subscribe, hit the like, and let us know what you want to see. And right now we're doing Masters of the Universe. And this was done by Image Comics. And this has been a great set so far. I love this. I'll probably be covering more Image Masters of the Universe. I really do like what I see. I'm very impressed with these issues, and it's been a thrill ride. And this is where we're coming into Evil-Lyn getting our comeuppance. Not from the good guys, of course, but from Big Daddy Skeletor. Yeah, he basically gave her a little rope so she could hang herself with, and Skeletor just kind of ferreted out the plan, and now he's dropping bombs on everyone and holding on to the crystal. Now, we find out that Tri-Klops had, of course, betrayed everyone because Tri-Klops wasn't really too enthused about it to begin with. And there's Trapjaw panicking, because, well, he's just a buffoon. And he basically falls on his knees while Skeletor's cooking Evil-Lyn like a turkey, begging for forgiveness. As he fires another blast, Evil-Lyn kind of walks off, calls him a bumbling moron. Typical Skeletor banter. And of course, the crystal, it calls out, and then once it's complete, Skeletor is able to draw energy off of it. And that was the thing about Skeletor. He knew the limitations of the crystal. You don't want to touch it. He draws energy off of it. He doesn't touch it. But meanwhile, basically the Eternian Guard's coming in to save He-Man, Mecha-Neck, Teela, Man-at-Arms. And they're realizing that He-Man's going to need a lot more backup, and the crystal is in grave danger, especially heading towards Snake Mountain. So the fight begins between the minions of Skeletor and the Eternian Guard. And of course, Man-at-Arms shouts out for Eternia. Because Man-at-Arms is just down like that. He just doesn't take any guff from anyone. And he just starts blowing people away. Now He-Man's chained up, and of course Skeletor wakes him up. That's the way Skeletor is. He likes to rattle on a little bit. He wants him to be awake, in his moment of triumph. Because that's who Skeletor is. And after he laid the pimp hand down on Evil-Lyn, this crystal has become even more powerful, but it's become unstable. It's even starting to glow red, which kind of surprises Skeletor. And he's like, well, that's not supposed to happen, and it starts rumbling. Like, there's a big rumble. Something's shaking the very foundation of Snake Mountain. But He-Man's still feeling the pull for the crystal. Snaps out of his chains, and Skeletor fires a beam at him. Using the chain, he grabs his staff and pulls it away from him. Now Skeletor's a little surprised on this, because that's Skeletor's main weapon. So now Skeletor pulls He-Man's sword, and this is a nice switcheroo right here. And I love a good switcheroo. He-Man has the staff, and Skeletor has his sword of Eternia, and they're both going at it at each other. And this is just all kinds of awesome. This is very cool as they start to clash. The fight's going kind of evenly until Skeletor makes the mistake of trying to throw the sword, and of course He-Man catches it. Skeletor recovers his staff and hits He-Man in the stomach. Now Skeletor is trying to prevent him from touching the crystal. He doesn't want whatever it is to influence him, or let alone let out the evil that Skeletor is drawing off of. But he runs to the crystal, and it's interesting how he says, He-Man, come to me, because in this story, it's kind of hinted that he's King Randor's brother, so Skeletor may be his uncle, may or not be. But we're teleported inside He-Man's psyche, where Adam is actually looking at a big, buff, super buff version of He-Man that's been corrupted by the power. And this is basically just the power of Eternia, the power of the crystal, just all that evil inside of him. And Adam draws his sword and tries to fight against him. But He-Man's also, this big version of He-Man, this gigantic version, is also using sorcery, trying to break Adam, so he can fully take over the psyche. And as the power corrupts him, he becomes like this big demon. But Adam stands his ground, because it's not just the sword. It's not just the power. It's who wields it. It's his heart. And this is what this is trying to prove, that Adam's more than just a slacker. He has a good heart. He has the heart of a warrior. And that's what makes He-Man He-Man. Not just the power, but the human that calls upon it. And as he stabs this evil version of He-Man, this demonic version, he says, it's not over. And he snaps out of it. And the crystal starts to form, threatens to attack. And He-Man, having enough, just crushes it as it shouts out, I am forever. Skeletor, fearing what will happen, is a big kathroom, a big boo boom, out of the mouth of Snake Mountain. He-Man comes hurling out. And now this was a huge blast. This was a lot of power in that crystal. And he is just almost spent. He's had a long day. He's barely conscious, but he gets saved by Man-at-Arms at the last minute. Man-at-Arms puts it in auto, because Man-at-Arms is always the man with the plan. The man who always invents something, and he's come up with a little solution for Adam's problems, just in case he's not cured all the way. Man-at-Arms quickly, out of nowhere, pulls out this gun and hits him with an antidote that he thinks will help, just in case the evil influence hasn't left. Because Man-at-Arms is Man-at-Arms. He's always inventing the solution. And they fly off. And they've lost a lot of good soldiers. And Man-at-Arms is actually lamenting this to the sorcerers. The sorcerers, we've lost a lot of good men. It was a hard fight to destroy this crystal. Now, the sorceress kind of talks in riddles, sort of. But she has a special bond with Man-at-Arms. And she mentions this was a test, a prophesized test for He-Man, that he ended up passing. But the problem is with the crystal is that evil is eternal. The evil in the crystal was eternal. And they can be neither made or destroyed. We have to find out how these shards are going to affect and what's going to happen as evil evolves from the shattered form. And what will form next. Who knows? Only time will tell as the bonds between good and evil begin to fray and tear. But we'll find out the next time. And as always, I'm the Comic Outlaw. Catch you on the flip side.